Welcome to the webinar on reaching the people who matter most to your nonprofit. In this 30-minute webinar, you'll discover how to build your nonprofit's marketing momentum through the use of the Google Ad Grant. This webinar will provide you with a much better idea on how to use the Google Ad Grant and how to leverage this resource to improve the visibility of your nonprofit and get more visitors to your current website. Bringing more visitors to your website means you get more people engaged that will become donors and volunteers. Google wants to help nonprofits continue to do this good work by providing these resources that help you build your marketing momentum by reaching the people who will most likely engage with your organization. Just think of the added impact you could have if you could dramatically increase the number of visitors to your website. The Google Ad Grant of $10,000 per month has made a major impact on many nonprofits' ability to reach more people and grow their donations far exceeding anything they could have done on their own without the help of the Ad Grant. Throughout this webinar, I'll review the important steps that you're going to take to successfully begin using and keeping this grant. I'll provide you a free web link where you can download an easy-to-follow template at the end of the webinar that reviews the steps I'm going to reveal during these sessions. I'll also provide you with two more valuable resources. The first is a list of the 5 tips that Google provides for successful implementation and management of the grant. And secondly, I'll provide you with a more detailed how-to guide that will provide you much more information than I can review in this 30 minutes and take you step by step on how to successfully implement and manage the grant. Through these resources and the information provided in this webinar, you're going to be well on your way to taking full advantage of the outstanding resource that Google provides. My objective is to get you started on the right foot to begin understanding the impact this can make on your nonprofit's ability to grow and make a bigger impact. So what we're going to cover are these 3 key points. First, what is the Google Ad Grant? And more importantly, is this something a small nonprofit can really implement successfully? Number 2, how to get started using the grant and prove that that a nonprofit of any size can take advantage and benefit from this great resource. And finally, 3, what kind of results can you expect? We will take a look at a few nonprofits of different sizes and see how they were able to take the grant and exponentially improve their website visitors and increase donations. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to enter them in the chat box, and we'll spend a few minutes at the end answering the questions. If you're watching a video of this webinar, you can enter your questions in the chat box and click the email button, and we'll answer your questions through email within the next 24 hours. Just a quick background on myself and why I'm qualified to teach this webinar. I've been working with nonprofits for over 30 years as a volunteer and a board member. I began my career in a Fortune 100 company and was responsible for strategic planning and international marketing. As a senior marketing executive, I worked with some of the best agencies and marketing professionals in the world. I've continued to learn about digital marketing and search engine optimization through teaching both undergraduate and graduate level marketing courses for the last 10 years. And I continue to work directly with nonprofits, and I'm currently the board chair of Urban Light Ministries in Springfield, Ohio. My passion for helping others inspired me to create a nonprofit marketing firm named the Momentum Group, where our primary goal is to take the movement that you've inspired and help give it the marketing momentum it needs for success, hence the name Movementum. So let's get started by understanding what the Google Ad Grant provides. As the slide states, the Google Ad Grant provides any 501c3 nonprofit the availability of $330 per day in Google Ad spending for their text ads. This should provide you with ample room to try new ad campaigns, focus on new keywords and phrases, and experiment with some different ads that may resonate with your key constituents. Google wants you to be successful using this ad grant, but they also want to make sure you're using it correctly and effectively. So to monitor compliance and success, they've established a few criteria that must be followed in order to continue to receive the grant, for the long term. The primary criteria is that you must average a 5% click-through rate on all call to action pages. Now this is rather significant since the average click-through rate on a normal website is 2 to 3%. However, Google's primary point with this is to make sure that when you place an ad and someone clicks on that, they land on a page of your website that's relevant to where they were searching for. If you provide high quality content with clear and simple call to actions, you should be able to meet this, this objective and criteria. Google wants people to go to your website, but they want to make sure that you're sending the right people based on your ads. The use of the Google Ads allows you to rank higher on the page. If you used only the organic value of your content based on how Google ranks your site, the likelihood of your website even making it on the first page is minimal. As you can see from this chart, to get people on the website, you must be in the top 5 listing on Google search page. If your nonprofit content is not one of the first 5 on the page, you're going to have less than a 5% chance of getting people to your website. Now, you can work hard at improving your website search engine optimization, but the chance that you're going to get to be in the top 5 based on an organic search result is very small. As you can see, by improving from the 20th position on the page to the 6th position, it really doesn't help much in your click-through percentage. In addition, remember that the ad results are also always above the organic search results. So even if you are the #1 organic search result for the topic, you're going to still be in the 5th or lower ranked position on the page. So this is why the Google Ad Grant is so important to your organization's marketing success. It gets you to the top of the search pages for the areas you want people to visit your website for. It drives significantly more traffic to your site, allowing you to analyze what people are interested in searching for and allowing you to continually modify your website content and ads to drive higher web visits. You'll never get this kind of search traffic or key data based on just focusing on your website search engine optimization. Finally, the Ad Grant helps you track where the visitors are coming from and what Google search queries brought them to your site. If you're just getting people to your site organically, it's going to be harder to track any significant levels of data to determine where they're coming from or how they're getting there. It's been proven by many nonprofits just how valuable this Ad Grant is, not only to their success, but also to their survival. Here are 3 examples that Google provides as case studies on how the Ad Grant has significantly improved donations and volunteers. The first is the Elder Wisdom Circle. They connect elderly volunteers with advice-seeking youth. One of their main goals is to locate young advice seekers who are looking for words of wisdom from a grandparent figure. In addition, they also want to reach potential supporters who may or may not know about their unique model in hopes that they'll become donors or volunteers. Through the use of the Ad Grant, they've experienced a 65% increase in people seeking advice through a 71% increase in their site traffic. Since most of their target audience for advice seekers are young adults, they knew that online presence was critical to their success, and they were an early adopter of the Google Ad Grant. Their successful campaign quickly outspent the standard $10,000 per month, and due to their strong account performance, compelling strategy, and positive community impact, the Elder Wisdom Circle was accepted into the Grants Pro program for an increased grant of $40,000 per month. The second nonprofit is We Care Animal Rescue, whose primary goal is to foster and promote the general welfare of animals, caring for homeless cats and dogs, and finding homes for them and educating the public on animal welfare. Susan Wren, their board president, said that without their donor financial support, they cannot provide these services. And since implementing their ad campaign using Google Ad Grant, they've seen an average monthly increase in their online adoption application submissions by 125% over the previous year. The final example is DonorChoose.org, which is a leading platform for giving in public schools to make sure every student in the community has the necessary tools and experiences they need for a great education regardless of their economic status of their community. Teachers across America use the site to create projects requesting resources their students need, and donors give to the projects that inspire them. The Google Ad Grant allows them to effectively connect with teachers, donors, and partners looking to make a difference in local classrooms. In just 1 year, they raised an additional $497,000 from over 5,000 donations through their ads. I'd like to share a quick video on how DonorChoose.org has used the grant to improve their marketing reach.
Teachers on average spend $500 out of their own pockets each year on materials for their classrooms. And even then, students go without critical learning supplies.
Here at DonorsChoose.org, it's our mission to make it easy for anybody to help a classroom in need.
So our mission is to make it really easy for anyone to support a classroom project, and Google Ad Grants helps us fulfill that mission.
As a nonprofit, we strive to keep our marketing budget lean, and we need an efficient way to connect to donors and teachers. So we run our ads through Ad Grants, and it helps us connect with donors and teachers in a scalable fashion. My name is Yangsimao Vasquez, and I work on digital and growth marketing here at DonorsChoose.org.
Google Ad Grants helps us build awareness among public school teachers looking for support for their classrooms, and it also helps us reach donors and partners who are looking to make a direct connection and support classrooms. I'm Katie Bisbee, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at DonorsChoose.org.
So DonorsChoose.org is a metrics-driven organization, and that's why we implemented conversion tracking. We implemented conversion tracking based off the goals of each audience that we wanted to reach. So for teachers, it was teacher registration and project submission. For donors, it was donations. And for partners, it was contact form submissions. In addition to those health metrics, we also measure the strength of our calls to action and messaging in Google Analytics. And there we look at on-site behavior and goal conversions to see how our messaging is resonating with our audiences. Our conversion data gives us insights on what resonates most with teachers, what resources they're looking for, what messaging gets donors to the site. And from there, we're able to nimbly adapt our messaging in other channels based off what we learn in Google Ads. In a year, our Google Ad Grants account has driven 300,000 clicks, 5,000 donations, 7,000 teacher registrations, and 6,000 new project submissions. I recommend nonprofits implement conversion tracking just to get a better understanding of how their ad grants is performing.
I hope by now you can see the real value that the Google Ad Grant can have on improving your nonprofit's impact. The examples shared are not exceptions. Nonprofits of any size can take full advantage of this outstanding resource. So I know your next question is going to be, how do I start? So as you probably figured out at this point, this is not something that can just be turned on and put on autopilot. You must have your marketing ducks in a row, as they say, and be ready to implement and manage the grant from day one. The best way to do this is by what I call connecting the dots. DOTS is an acronym for defining your mission, outlining your goals, telling your impact stories, and selecting your best keyword phrases. Once you have completed these 4 steps, you can then define your website's call to actions and successfully implement your Google Ad campaigns. So let's take a closer look at the first step of defining your mission. You must begin by understanding your nonprofit's primary purpose to exist and why anyone should care. You need a clear statement of who you are and why you exist. If someone was to look at your website's homepage for 5 seconds, they should be able to answer 3 key questions. What do you do? How can you make their life better? And how can they get involved, or how can they help? These 3 questions need to be taken from your mission statement so you can begin to create some content and ads that resonates with the people that you want to go to your website. Spending your time and Google's money on targeting the wrong people that don't care about your nonprofit does no one any good and targets your scarce resources on the wrong people. So make sure your mission statement clearly states what you do and provides your staff and board the beginning of a message platform they can all consistently use when describing your organization. So once you have a clear and compelling mission statement, you need to set some specific goals on what you want to achieve, especially as it relates to your Google Ad performance. What are your primary goals of getting someone to your website other than just to donate? Maybe sign up for an event, gain additional education about issues your nonprofit's focusing on, or maybe provide them some useful resources. Set 4 clear goals so you can begin to focus your ads that will create the quickest impact and encourage people to engage. Remember, you need good content and a clear call to action to make sure you hit that 5% click-through rate on your landing pages. One way to help increase the impact of these goals is to use a SMART concept where you make each goal specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. This will provide you some extra momentum in establishing and achieving each goal. To get people engaged, they must feel as if they are a part of your organization already. You have to stimulate the passion and compassion they have for your cause. The most effective way to do this is through storytelling. Get them hooked on why they should become involved and provide their valuable resources to your nonprofit. So before you can begin with the Google Ad campaign, you need to define at least 10 impact stories that you can use as engaging content on your website. For each story, make sure you're going to catch their attention by bringing what your organization does to life. How does this story make an impact on their lives? Why does it matter to them? When someone thinks of your organization's mission, what are the things they want to see impacted? Now, you don't have to make all of these stories about individual impact. You can also provide stories on why the organization exists in the first place, maybe by documenting your founder's story. You can tell stories about how volunteers or donors have seen an impact on their lives based on their association that they've had with your organization. And you can tell stories about how your nonprofit has improved its abilities, over the growth of the organization. The bottom line is to create an emotional bond with your website visitor. Now that you have a compelling story and have created content that will engage your visitors, you still have to get them to your website. This is where building your website and ad structures around keywords and keyword phrases becomes important. What are the words that people are going to use when they're searching for your nonprofit? You can build a comprehensive, effective list of keywords by looking at your programs, your key storylines used in those impact stories. What words stand out is important. You can track their effectiveness using tools like Google Keyword Planner to determine the monthly search volume, competitiveness, and bid value to determine if this word makes sense. Remember, don't try to be everything to everybody. Only focus on the keywords that get the right people to your site. And this may mean using longer keyword phrases to ensure they're searching for what you offer, but keywords that are too broad are going to bring people to your site that are not interested and making it even harder to maintain that 5% click-through rate. So don't forget to look at your competitors' websites and also do some backlink searches using some of the free tools like Moz or Ubersuggest to see what other sites use similar words as you and where their links are coming from. There's much more in-depth descriptions on how to research and create the most effective keyword phrases in the free how-to guide that you're going to get at the end of the webinar. So now that you've created your content and keyword strategies, you must make sure that your website visitors understand what action they need to take. Your call to action should be easy to understand and focus on only one thing. Giving someone too many choices usually means they won't make a choice and therefore just leave your page without taking action. You want to make sure that they click on the button that drives them to sign up for an event, make a donation, volunteer, or get more information. One key thing to note that is the call to actions must happen on your website. Any call to action that takes your visitor to another website doesn't count towards Google's call to action criteria. So this would include someone going to like eBrite to register for a ticket to an event. One of the examples described earlier was We Care Animals. This shelter located in Napa Valley, California is geographically focused, but still finds the Google Ad Grant real valuable. So let's take a look at how they've effectively turned the Google Ad Grant into a key resource that helps them achieve their mission.
We Care is a no-kill animal rescue sanctuary. It has been in existence for 34 years.
We Care Animal Rescue specializes in special needs animals. This can vary from cancer, neurological problems, to behavioral issues. What's unique about We Care Animal Rescue is that we house these animals for as long as it takes them to find a home, or if it doesn't find them home, they're allowed to stay here for the rest of their lives.
I think the biggest problem was the awareness and making people know about We Care.
That's where Google Ad Grants comes into play.
Since Google Ad Grants, we have had an increase of 2,000 unique visitors to our site.
We measured the success of our Google Ad Grants account by using Google Analytics. We have Google Ads that target volunteers that want to work at our rescue, and Google Analytics lets us track the volunteers that go to our website and apply online. The same holds true for ads targeting potential adopters that want to adopt from here.
Because of AdWords Express, we have had an increase of 350% of our online activity. We've had a 125% increase in adoptions and applications for volunteers.
AdWords Express is really simple and easy to use. One of the best features is the ad creation tool, which allows us to easily create ads online. The AdWords Express dashboard allows us to track the segments we are targeting and allows us to track by geographical location. We also optimize our search phrases that AdWords Express provides to drive more ad traffic. The AdWords Express app allows us to easily monitor the success of our ads from anywhere we are.
I think the biggest thing that Google Ad Grants solved for us was making people more aware of what We Care is. Every time an animal is adopted, that's an opportunity for We Care to save one more animal.
I love working at We Care Animal Rescue. It's like my home. I love these animals. I know every one of their names.
This is Blackjack, Alani, Lee, and on the bottom is Logan.
We absolutely recommend Google Ad Grants and AdWords Express for any nonprofit organization.
I'd say one of the big advantages with AdWords Express is the ease and the ability to manage it. Too good to be true, a miracle, and we are so grateful.
As you can see from the video, you don't need to be a large nonprofit to take full advantage of the Google Ad Grant. The benefit of the grants are substantial to any size organization. The most important key is that you have someone that can connect the dots for you to create a plan that will lead to the ultimate success of your nonprofit. Having someone either inside or outside your organization that manages your Google Ad campaign and continues to manage and adjust the campaign is critical to success. The bottom line is that grant provides you the opportunity to reach the people that matter most to your nonprofit. Without the grant, you have no way to increase the visibility of your nonprofit and what it does, and thereby not having the awareness that required to increase your donations and supporters. The Ad Grant gives you the necessary economies of scale in your advertising budget, where you can go beyond the critical mass of effective advertising, which provides more insight and conversions. It's like the analogy we used about building a snowball and rolling it down the hill. If you don't have enough snow to build a big enough snowball, you're never going to get it to begin rolling down the hill to build the momentum and size it needs to make the meaningful impact. So it's my hope from what you've learned today that you can begin to take the necessary steps to begin building your nonprofit's marketing snowball and get them rolling with the Google Ad Grant. As stated at the beginning of the webinar, I'll provide you with 3 resources to help you build that momentum. As you begin trying to connect the dots for your nonprofit, which were define your mission, outline your goals, tell your impact stories, and select your best keyword phrases, there's some easy to follow templates that will take you step by step through the process. Once you have the templates complete, you can then be ready to develop your call to actions. And make sure you begin successfully by looking at the top 5 tips that Google suggests that will improve your chances of success. And finally, as you begin to work on the process, there's a more detailed workbook on building your keyword strategies and ad campaigns. It'll also walk you through step by step how to apply for the Google Ad Grant and ensure success the first time. As you begin to create your nonprofit's mission and marketing strategies, you may find that you need some additional resources to help you through some of the stages. As part of the Momentum Group services, we provide detailed how-to guides with resources and templates that will help take you through each of the more detailed steps and prepare you for the Google Ad Grant. There is not enough time to review the details of each step in this webinar, but if you're interested in learning more, there's information on the website where you're going to find your free resources. These guidelines can help you build a compelling brand strategy and create the message to better tell your brand story. They also provide further insights in developing your website and digital marketing strategies, in addition to learning who your constituents are through social media research and social listening. In the end, it's about creating the compelling content that your supporters want and gets them to engage with your nonprofit. These resources are available on a how-to guide, webinars, and combined together in a total masterclass on building your nonprofit's overall marketing impact. Thank you for your time today, and feel free to reach out if you need more information or assistance in building your marketing snowball and help getting it pushed down the hill to begin building that momentum. As I said in the beginning, you inspired the movement. Now let us help give it the marketing momentum it needs to thrive. Here's my contact information. And if you have any questions or need to reach me, feel free to give me a call. Take care and have a great rest of your day.